To advertise with us, donate sponsorships and suggestions, email us at trendafricatv@gmail.com or call us on 773-312-0318 or 773-756-6678. Remember to also follow and like us as Trend Africa TV on Facebook so you can always catch us live. On Instagram as Trend Africa TV 123 or subscribe to our YouTube channel as Trend Africa TV and click on the notification button to watch previous shows. You can also visit our website for your African news, entertainment, fashion and sports updates on www.trendafricaonline.net. Trend Africa TV, redefining Africa.
What's up, people? Good afternoon, Chicago. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good evening, wherever you are. It's your boy Royal Black Jesus. It's all about Let's Talk. The mic is on. Today we have one of the um, young, amazing community organizer. I mean, he's an amazing young man that I've known for a couple of years now. Today we want to get to know him and get to know the other side of him because he has done so well. I mean, when you come on this platform, that means people that young men and women or older men and women who actually doing a lot of things or helping the community to grow, and he's one of them. Before I'll introduce my guest, I'll take a quick break and then I'll bring my guest in. I know people in Chicago will know him on the other side, but we will get to know him the other side around. I mean, what he likes, what makes him mad, um, all the beautiful things and all the bad things. We're going to talk about it today, and you will give us um, who he really is, who that person is. He's to me. I would say that he's a guy who um, doesn't take nonsense at all. He's very straightforward guy. He's um, he's very selective when it comes to choose what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do and things like that. He's very selective. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk to this guy and you will know who I am actually uh, talking about. You know, he used to be a former general manager of the BGAC. We'll get there and get to know some of the experiences that he had over there. He actually met a lot of big shots in Chicago. I'm talking about senators, mayors. Um, I mean, just name it. Doctors, lawyers. This guy is just amazing young man. But before I bring him on board, let me take a quick break, and then when I come back, I'll bring my guest in.
Check out this beautifully made artistry of coffee tables made from a combination of recycled tires, jute ropes, wood, and fabric to suit your style. Yes, we make to order. These coffee tables can help you make a statement in your bedrooms, offices, and living rooms. But remember, we only ship within the USA and Canada after shipping cost is paid. Call Jasper Designs on 1-306-203-2650 or email us at doduyayra@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Jasper Love or follow Pearl Yara Agboka on Facebook. Don't be left out. Please place your orders now.
Yes, you can see my guest on the screen. Amazing young man. The one
Yes,
and
sir.
only
Yes, sir.
Sena Alinco in the
Yes, sir.
building.
Still. What's up? What's up? Black.
Man,
Nice
man,
to be on. Nice to be on. Thank
it's
you.
an
Yeah.
honor to have you on my on my platform, Let's Talk. We know you to be a very serious young man that put everything, everything on like everything on board, like
Mm,
ready to do everything that you. I mean, when you set your eyes on something, you give it all.
right.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to know the other side first before we get to that aspect.
Right.
Who is Alinco? Well, I mean, first of all, what is Alinco? I mean, I thought Alinco was your name until like somebody just hit me up and said no, that's not his real name. So who is Alinco?
Well, Alinco is a young kid. I mean, in terms of the name Alinco, right? The name
Yeah,
Alinco,
the name Alinco. Before we get to
the
the
personality.
yeah the personality.
Alinco is a Nigerian comedian, Papa Jasco. And and at the time, I think the late 80s, I'll say late 80s, maybe somewhat to getting close to the 90s, he was very, very popular. And so when I was very young, I was very funny. I used to make everybody around me laugh. My sisters, my friends, especially when I went to Mauli school the first time. I just like to make people laugh. I was just a funny person. So I think some of my friends, kind of felt like I was acting, or I used to act like the character, the Alinko character. So, and I like him too. He was just a funny guy. So they gave me, I mean, they started calling me Alinko, and I liked it. So sometimes I'll call myself Alinko. Yeah, boy Alinko, because I like that he was funny. He used to has this. He had the specs that you wear. The old school specs that has two frames. You
Right,
raise the
right.
upper
The
view.
open one like that.
I thought that was funny. So I thought everything about him was just funny. So I just liked the character. So yeah, I accepted the name, and it's been with me since, I'll say, somewhere 88 up until now. 1988 up until now. So I've always had it. Yeah. So yeah, Alinko is my nickname, and this is
So
how it
that
came.
that that become the brand name now.
It's a brand name now. Thank God.
Yeah.
Sometimes when God gives you something, He probably has a reason.
Mm, mm,
Everybody has a brand name. All of those people that have made it, a lot of them have brand names, and you would usually not know. Someone like, if you listen to rappers like KRS-One, any Method Man, well, Tupac, these are just, Big. These are just brand names, but there are real names behind these people, right?
mm.
Jay Z is not his name, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Like
sometimes it's
like
just
Royal Black Jesus.
like Royal Black Jesus. There's a person behind Royal Black Jesus, you know. But sometimes when you pick the names, or when it's given to you, it's been with Alinko. All my friends, everybody knows me, Alinko, especially my old school friends, and it stays with you. And sometimes, again, you never know why you have these nicknames, but it turns out to sometimes be a good thing. Right now, like I said, I'm branding it. It's the name of my show as a host. So
Right. So
yeah.
let me ask you, your do your mother call you Alinko too?
When my mom will call me uh Alinko, she will rarely call me Alinko. My mom hardly calls me Alinko, but she'll call me when, like, we are laughing about something, or when she wants to be funny about something. You know, like when I do something awesome, and she'll call me on the phone and say, "Hey, boy, Alinko." Like, like
That's
this one
beautiful.
here, you've gone above, beyond. Like, sometimes when I do things that beats her imagination, she'll be like, "Wow, this is my son." Like, so that
Yeah.
Lincoln will come, but yeah, but she'll of course call me Sena, most of the time.
So Alinko is a young man with how many siblings?
Oh, I have three beautiful sisters.
Wow, nice one.
Yeah, three adorable sisters. And I have a nephew and nieces, and I love them. Those are my joy.
Mm.
I love being around my nieces. Yeah, they're just a bunch of joy. And when I start talking about them, we can talk about them all day. I'm
I
super.
know, I know, I know, I know. You and babies are like something else.
Oh yes,
That
right?
that 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 I know. That I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Even your daughter, Maya, she's my
Yeah,
sweetheart.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Alinko, let's tell us about your upbringing. I mean, you being the only son and
Mhm.
three beautiful sisters. I mean,
Yeah.
how is the upbringing like?
Yeah. So, back in Ghana and in Africa, when you happen to be a firstborn, you carry a lot of responsibilities. More so when you find yourself in a single family kind of home,
Mm,
or single parents kind of situation. And my mom, unfortunately, had to be, I wouldn't say unfortunately, because God bless all single mothers and all single parents. Sometimes it happens, so I don't want to brand it as an unfortunate situation. The ideal thing is that men and women will raise kids, but, so yeah, in my case, my dad was around, up until I went to Mauli. And then after that, he wasn't around anymore. My mom had to do most of the things. So I was born in Pig Farm, so I grew up in that area, Kotobabi, Roman Ridge, Ebony. Went to Jack and Jill. My mom had a thing for education because her father is an educationist. Her father is a very smart, intelligent man. And so he instilled education in my mom and her siblings. So my mom was very, very keen on education. And so she made sure we went to good schools. I started with Saito, in the pig farm areas, where and growing up in Accra at that time, it was hard. I mean, those are the times where we were eating kanzo. The '83 hunger came. We had to survive. It was rough. I had to go live in the village with my uncles in Mipom on the around the Achim Samakasi area. That's where I learned how to make moonshine with my uncles. We'll go to the bush and hunt for antelopes, hunt for grass cutters. No, I've seen a lot, bro. I've seen a lot.
wow,
I've seen my uncles actually hunt and kill a big old crocodile, and a big old
wow,
crocodile.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and the way they hunted that animal down and got it, well, we had a dog called Chico, and I
Mm,
can I can I can narrate the whole story, but it will take us a long time. But
I know.
yeah, to be a young kid to experience, and again, I had to go to the village because of the hunger, right? And mind you, things were tough. So my dad moved to the village. My mom had to struggle, so my mom had to drop me being the firstborn and the only boy. I had to go live with my dad. It was at the time it was just me and my sister, the one after me. So I had to follow my uncles to the bush. My uncles had sugarcane farms, palm wine. We would tap the palm wine and bring it home. And I saw how they made a moonshine, how they make akpeteshie alcohol, like from
Wow.
zero to the real thing. Like I know how it's made. And I had to hustle. I had to go to the bush and pick up snails, pluck mangoes, oranges, fruits, and sell them. I had an auntie who would trade in. She would trade in food products. She would send them to Accra, and so I would have a small basket and go hunt for my own farm produce, put it in the basket, give it to her, and then she sells it with her stuff. So when the proceeds come, she gives me my share. You know,
Wow.
oh, bro. So we we've seen a lot in life. I had to
Mm,
live that. I learned how to hunt for birds, and and set traps. But you also learn from older people. You are talking to grandfathers. They're talking. Yeah, your grandfather is there. I learned how to rear, sheep, goats. So I came back to Accra and had to live with, the street guys.
mm,
Picking up all types of characters and behaviors. But in all of this, what God gave me was observation. I observed a lot.
yeah.
I endured everything I had to endure, but I was looking, I was always watching how little kids, African kids can just make, how we call, what we call, uh, lollikonko.
Right.
Lollikonko.
Right.
We make trucks and cars out of milk
Out of
tins.
that
Yeah,
things and things like
milk
milk
tins. Yeah,
things and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then we were making soccer ball out of
Socks.
used socks.
Right.
We'd
So you
pull.
did
Yeah,
all that.
bro. We did all of
I
that.
thought
We did all of that. You know, we played Assault, you know, Cha-Cha, you know,
right,
Gumbo,
right, right, right.
Alikoto,
So you be
Dikos,
Kobolo. You be.
Kobolo.
I mean, straight up ghetto
Straight
guy.
Kobolo.
You know. I mean,
So yeah. So what gave me a balance was that when I had a chance to go to Jack and Jill, which Jack and Jill is in Roman Ridge, and
right.
you know,
One of the best schools. One of the
yes,
fine
yes,
schools in Ghana.
exactly,
Accra.
and it's a
Okay.
that area, you
Right.
know. So going there, I made friends in that area, and Pig Farm and Roman Ridge are very close. So most of my friends, a lot of friends, I had friends there. All I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, my growing up gave me a balance because I had opportunity to play with what we call kobolos. Kobolos in Accra means like street, like
Street
ghetto boys.
guys. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I played with them, hang out with them. You know, we fought together like there were real fights.
You gotta hustle. You gotta
You know,
hustle to make it happen. Yep.
sometimes you lose some of the fights, sometimes you win.
Sometimes you win.
And I told you we were playing Munchendi soccer,
Mm, mm, mm.
and I told you they used to call me Kujabo boy.
Yeah, yeah, because you're a goalkeeper, right?
I was a goalkeeper and I was a defender. You know, I was a
Good
goalkeeper and I
job,
was a
boy.
defender. Yeah, you know, or Kujo Alanta. For some reason when I grew up, I had my legs look bow, but when I was growing up, it was K. So they would call me Kujo Alanta sometimes too. You know how
Maybe at that time you're a chameleon because you keep on changing.
yes, yes. So I was we did everything that
Mm,
anybody can think of when it comes to a ghetto child or a bad boy. You
mm.
know, the only thing I wasn't doing, of course, was hard drugs. You know, but we saw adults smoke and drink alcohol and all of that. We were just kids, but we were engaged in all the street behaviors.
Mm.
And going to Jack and Jill, like I said, gave me a different perspective. You
Right.
know, you are hanging out with kids whose parents are dropping them in cars you've never seen before.
Mm, mm.
When they come to school with their
In
lunch,
the 80s, right?
the
We're talking about the
80s,
80s.
the
Yes.
80s.
Yes.
When these kids come to school with their lunch box, you'll be like,
Right.
wow, you eat
Right.
this food at home? You know,
I mean, I went to association, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So somehow, even though I had a street life, when I went to Jack and Joe, I got cleaned up a little bit because you messing with people who speak English. You know, at the time we only knew how to speak Ga
Guy and Chi
and
and
Chi and Hausa and
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Wow.
so,
Wow.
so
Wow.
so 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 when you go to some of these areas, you know the kids speak English. They live in self-contained homes and they eat well and all of that.
Mm,
So that kind of gives me a perspective that in life there are so many variations, but what you have to do is to be able to blend, you know, and live with everybody and treat everybody with respect and put a 10 on everybody because yeah, you don't know who you meet on in your journey in life. And again, being that, and let me tell you this story real quick.
mm.
I also had a garden. My father had a garden, and every day after school, I would have to walk from Pig Farm to Jowolu to
Wow.
water the garden. He had a rice farm and all types of vegetables. I make sure I have to water after each day after school. From Jack and Joe, come walk back to Pig Farm. Not
Mm.
it's not right. It's not taxi. It's not like you
No, it's
walk
not a
all the
joke
way back.
too. You gotta
No.
walk.
And then after around 4 5 p.m., I walk to Joel. And
Wow.
then I have to go and water all the vegetables and water the rice. The rice I didn't have to water. I have to make sure I drive the birds away from the rice farm.
Mm.
And so that's how and it was good for me too because guess what? I got introduced to eating vegetables because that was a vegetable farm. We had gardenias, we had green pepper, we had green onions, we had
Mm.
carrots, cucumbers, cabbage. You know, so now when I meet people and I'm eating a certain way, it's
They,
not because I learned it from America. It's because
mm.
you know what I'm saying. I bring it. So all I'm saying is that the way I grew up was just a blessing to me, and maybe
Mm.
that's it plays in my day to day and how I see people, and my respect for women too. Because again, that was a single mother. My mom, making sure that all of us, the four of us, went to Jack and Jill. And she struggled, she bore the pain, but she made sure that we went to good schools because she understood the essence of good quality education, the foundation of good
Wow.
quality education for the child.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So Alinco, I mean, this is amazing story. I mean, we nobody have heard this side of
No,
your
no, no.
journey, your life journey. I mean, I'm so glad that
Yeah.
being your
Even you
friend,
having
being telling me for the first time and tell
yeah,
on my platform is a
right,
beautiful thing. I love it.
right,
I love it. I
right,
love it. And I respect that.
right.
But when when did you find yourself? I mean, after because get to a point that you don't know what you want to be or you don't know
Mhm.
who you are and things like. When did you realize that? Because with the stories that you are telling me,
Mm.
I can I can tell you why you I can tell with my own opinion why you act certain ways and things like
Right.
that because of the way you were your upbringing. But when
Mhm.
did you realize that this is the way you want this is the way you want to shape your life and that's it? When?
Look, bro, it took me, and that's a great question. It took me a very long time. You see, one thing Africa, sometimes, that's why we say every time, all the time. I mean, you and I talk, and when I talk to other people, one thing that Africa doesn't give the youth is opportunity and self esteem. Sometimes Africa or the culture in Africa, in our tradition, sometimes does not help us in these
Mm,
ways.
mm,
Because even though I always knew that I had a voice, I had an opinion, and that's why I observe things because I watch things and I'm like, huh, this thing could be done this way or the other. But again, growing up in Ghana and Africa, they beat that out of you. You cannot say your opinion.
that is very true.
You can't speak your mind. So, but I always felt that, you know what? I think I want to, I want to be in a position where I can provide for people, I can care for people.
Mm,
I
mm,
always felt that I want to be in a place where I can protect people because for some reason, based on what I have seen and realized, I've seen people who were at the brink of life and people who had no hope but were able to create things. And what I've realized in life is that the human being is the most wonderful, most
mm,
God's most wonderful creation ever.
mm, mm, mm,
Human
mm,
being, no matter the package that human being is in, if you clean, if you groom it and you provide it the environment for it to flourish, you'll be amazed what a human being can do.
mm.
And so one thing that I have always been circumspect of is to protect the right and to fight and advocate for the right of people. I
Wow,
hated oppression. I
wow.
didn't like oppression. I didn't like people's struggle. And again, maybe it's because maybe I saw my mom, my sister struggle. I didn't one time because of the conditions in back home. I saw a guy bully. I mean, there was a situation where I came back from school and I was told my sisters were now at home. I went to I was told a situation happened. So I rushed down to the scene and I saw an elderly person who I think uh, he um, he used a cane or something to beat up one of my little sisters because he thinks that my sister crossed into his jurisdiction, like his farm or
Mm,
something. It was some flimsy excuse, but I was so little. I was so little, and I couldn't fight the guy. I couldn't beat him up, and there was no way you can call the police to come and deal with that person for beating up a little kid. And this was a guy with a whole bunch of guys. They had cutlasses and all types of things, and I'm like, why is it that if people are going through a tough situation, you cannot find help for them? Had it been America, had it been the developed world, you can easily report that case and that situation will be taken care of.
yep.
One of the things that I also didn't like was pounding fufu. Now, I never liked fufu because I hit my mom's finger one day
Mm,
as a little boy. Maybe I think I was like 10 years or something. And I'm like, first of all, why should you suffer this way to eat? And the day I hit my mom's finger, after that, she still encouraged me to keep pounding. But the thing is, I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, why, why would you have to go through this pain just to eat food? And so I just hated when I see people suffer. And so fufu is not still till date. Fufu is still not my favorite food.
Mm.
And I since when I was like 10 years old, it's still not my favorite food. If I'm hungry and you make it for me, I'll eat it. But I'm not going to encourage you to pound it the African way and all of
Right,
that.
right, right, right.
But yeah. So back to your question. So I knew that I hated when people go through oppression, and how can I do something about it? And so, but it wasn't something that I could find and carve a way to make that a reality. So coming to America and following my dream, just like everybody does in American dream, you come to school, um, Kujo Abo boy, yes.
I thought I should put it there for you to say
I know. That was my nickname. But anyway, one of my many nicknames when I was growing up. So coming to America actually gave me a voice, but it didn't happen until you invited me to WGAC.
it.
Okay.
Wow, wow,
Yes,
wow, wow.
because again, my thing was just like everybody else, go to
Mm,
school, make a living. But I always knew that one day I would be in a position where I'll be speaking on behalf of people or acting on behalf of the betterment of people.
mm,
As a child, it's like it's something that I've had in my head. But I have never worked with it. I've never even sat down to realize, to think about it. No. So again, I came to do my master's here. After MBA, I started school. I picked up data management courses, became an analyst, so regular, just working like a regular, dreamer, right? Looking, seeking for the American dream. Got married and everything. So when you invited me to WGAC, and we started with Ake,
right.
and after maybe 2 or 3 months, that voice that was asleep woke up. I had a conviction. This is what I am called to do.
Mm.
Use my voice, use my platform to advocate for the betterment of people. And so I would say that was the turning point. And after that, the rest,
Everything is Alinco.
yeah.
And,
Yes.
and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, you fast forward the conversation, but I think yeah, um, it's a good thing. I mean, the
Yeah.
first day I met you, that was when I think Torpedo and the likes of Mo SB Dub.
Yeah.
I'm all the guys playing
Hmm.
basketball,
Hmm.
and then I met you, and then that very day, I think we went to the crib. We just put some banku or something together, and then
Hmm.
we ate some something. And since then, I just realized that there's something in you.
Hmm.
But then again, the few time we had our, we talked,
Hmm.
I realized that you are a very selective person. You choose your people that you want to hang around with.
Hmm.
I mean, what made you like that? Because I'm a type of guy that I try to bring people along, and I'm not saying
Hmm.
that you don't bring people along. You bring people
Right.
along, but you are very selective. You are very,
Hmm.
very selective.
Yeah.
What actually? When did you realize that you are very selective when it comes to pick pick and choose or trying to bring people along and things like that? When is it when you get to the radio, when I invited you to the radio, or you had that when you are in school?
Hmm.
Because I remember my woman that I'm with now,
Hmm.
she told me about you, that
Empress,
you have yeah, Empress. Yeah, Empress is your your
my
your
sister,
your classmate, your
yeah.
schoolmate, your classmate, right?
Schoolmate, yeah,
And
my schoolmate,
schoolmate,
yeah,
classmate,
always.
schoolmate, yeah.
Mhm.
So she told me about you, that you're a fun guy to go out. I mean, easy to go and things like that. But
Yeah.
the Alinco that we know here in Chicago is a little bit serious than
Yeah.
the Alinco that they know. So I
Mm.
mean, people were confused. I
Yeah.
mean, tell it. I mean, when did you realize that? When did that shape come and that professionalism? Should I say professionalism?
Yeah.
Or
But
I don't know how to. I don't know.
seriousness. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when did that seriousness kick in? Is it the
Okay.
time at WGAC, or you already had that, but it's just that it's not polished?
I already had that. I already had that.
Mm,
When I was at, before I answered that, when you talked about what changed, my perception and made me decide to, um, take this course in life. One thing that I missed is the fact that I came to America. Okay, and America always gives you the opportunity. That's why I believe in the land of opportunity, which is America, right? I mean, it gives everybody the opportunity to become whatever you are, whoever you want to be,
mm,
and it gives you their resources too. So I really thank God for America, and I thank God. And I always say God bless America because it maybe if I hadn't gotten the chance to come here, I don't know the conditions in Africa. Maybe this Alinco that you see now with Progressive Minds, we probably wouldn't have come to fruition. Even if it did, maybe many many years, and at the time it would be late, right? So it's always good to find your purpose, and anything and anybody that helps you to find your purpose in life is a blessing. So I just
mm,
wanted to say that. But I think in terms of me being serious, even though I have a nickname Alinko, which is after a comedian, a funny person, I am very serious too when it comes to work. I have, let me tell you this today. I haven't never told anyone this. I have a personal brand, which is PIE, PIE, professionalism, integrity, and excellence. This
mm,
is something that personally I carry for myself. I carry on in life, and I hold myself to this standard because without professionalism, bro, nothing can be done. We see that in this country. The West is developed not because they have more resources and more intelligence than us,
mm,
but it's because they approach serious things, developmental issues and policies and projects with professionalism, integrity for the most part, and they strive for excellence. They
mm,
are not for mediocre at all. Oh, let's build a house. Let's build maybe a street, but we'll use instead of using. We know that if we use 10 trucks of concrete of or maybe rocks, no whatever material. Let's say we're building a house. We'll
right.
build Ghana standard, and you know that for this house you need 10 bags of cement, but so that you can cut corners, you use five.
Mm,
It's okay. After all, I'm not going to live in is for the communities, for society. So we use five without thinking 10, 20, 30 years down the line. And so that is one of the things that is holding Africans back. But here, when you see the project,
yep,
you know this is
yep,
quality work.
yep,
You see what I'm saying? When
yep.
it's supposed to be 10 bags and 20
Put
rods,
in there. Yep,
10 bags and 20 rods.
yep,
Is excellent, going for the best and not anything less than the best.
yep.
Okay, if and we carry it everywhere, so we have to strive for better and better all the time. And again, that comes. So I've always had that type of attitude. So when I'm at work, when I was at West African Gas Pipeline, that was the company that I was before I came here. Even I even interned at Happy FM before I
Oh,
went to.
okay.
That's where I did my internship. And the people there will attest to you. Even though I was an intern, I was in tie, I was dressed sharp, you know, because that's how work is work. You have to produce. And when it comes to production, there's a different attitude that you have to develop to it. So I had that at West African Gas Pipeline. Then when I came working here, you know why Torpedo um brought me to that game? And you probably didn't hear, but if you talk to Torpedo,
Mm,
and I didn't know, but people were telling me I Torpedo was my manager. So he was the head of department at the company that I was working for at downtown.
Yeah, downtown. Yeah.
In that whole department, there was a guy who was leading. He's a Ghanaian. He was the guy who was topping that department was is a Ghanaian in terms of performance. When I went there, bro, after just about 4 to 6 months,
You took
I
over.
was I was the top in that whole department.
I know.
No,
I knew
seriously.
that would come.
No, seriously. No,
Yeah.
because it wasn't that I was friends with people. I was, but it's my approach to work. It's my because that is production. And work is not only about the money, it's about your value. It's about your worth. You giving it your all, dignifying the whole thing so that the best of you is coming out. And it's the best of you that comes out is what's going to be one, is going to bring you compensation, but it's not just compensation, it's going to be a reward. You're going to make somebody happy. You're going to, because if I do work for you and it's quality, guess what Black Jesus says? You don't only pay me, but you are happy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you have to, I think as people we have to approach life, especially work, in this manner, and that is why I had that type of thing. And so I brought it to all my organizations, and again I didn't know that Torpedo never told me in my face that, Charlie, you were good because, but he was telling people about me, and I later found out that he had many good things to say about me regarding my work ethic at work, right?
Yeah.
And so that is my type of approach to work. And so when it comes to that, I am super serious. Maybe I'm too serious to my own good, right? And so
I
I
know. Sometimes let me tell you something.
yeah,
I remember the first day I produced your show for you, and
mm,
WGS, we have our own ways and things like that.
right,
And then I remember the day I produced your show. I think I was brother Kofi produced your show first, and then maybe the following week I did or something. And you came to the studio, and then you have a whole book, and I'm looking at myself like, what the hell is that?
I didn't even
And
if
then you
you're
have, I mean, you have the music. I mean, this is why I started, like, man, you have your own type of music you want to play,
yeah,
and I mean everything is on point. Like,
yeah,
and I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
that make you different. Also, let's talk about WGAC.
yeah, yeah.
Because I
And,
mean,
and,
if
and
we
and
said
I'm
we want
select,
to,
and I'm selective with friends because,
mm,
like, it's not everybody that laughs with you that likes you,
mm,
and you have to look deeper into people's smile,
right,
and their body gestures. You have to be careful. I trust easily. I love everybody, but I am careful who I go to spend time with because I am most of the time preoccupied with thoughts. I'm always thinking about things. And sometimes I feel like being alone gives me the opportunity to think. Because Black, when I come to you, we can speak about certain things, right?
right,
But
right.
when I go to ABC, I understand, I know that we might talk about things that will not be productive. And in my mind, I have things I want to think about. I have things that I want to reflect on.
Mm,
So I love my space in that it gives me the peace to control my thoughts. You see what I'm saying? And again, choosing people carefully and looking beyond the smile is very, very, very important. And
looking beyond
yeah,
smile.
yeah,
Wow, that's a deep one. This is deep. I
thanks,
mean,
man.
how can people look beyond smile? But it takes a critical thinker to
Yeah, yeah,
have that thought.
yeah.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll dive into um your experience at WGAC, and at one point you are the general manager,
Right.
and I should say you smell you smell negative around people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to give you this platform for you to digest a little bit of what went on, so that so that we can swallow it ourselves, and then and go from there. But I mean, thank you for coming around. We still rubbing shoulders with the CEO and the founder of Progressive Mind. I mean, and at the same time, he's a community organizer. I mean, amazing guy. He have worked with a lot of I mean, um, well-to-do people. I mean, we're talking about senators, lawyers,
Congressman,
secretary of states, men, congressmen. I mean, this guy is something
Black
that I don't
business.
even know. Within a few years, he knows everybody in Chicago. But we're
I
gonna take a
know,
quick
right? It's
commercial
funny.
break. When we come back,
It's funny.
we'll talk more about Alinco Papa J.
Yes,
Check
ma'am.
out this beautifully made artistry of coffee tables made from a combination of recycled tires, jute ropes, wood, and fabric to suit your style. Yes, we make to order. These coffee tables can help you make a statement in your bedrooms, offices, and living rooms. But remember, we only ship within the USA and Canada after shipping cost is paid. Call Jasper Designs on 1-306-203-2650 or email us at doduyayra@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Jasper Love or follow Pearl Yara Agboka on Facebook. Don't be left out. Please place your orders now. Let's join the witty and blunt Empress Mausi on the Mausi Talk Show as she sits with legends, trailblazers, social media celebrities, musicians, and many, many more this and every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time on Trend Africa TV. It is going to be fun-packed. You don't want to miss this. Trend Africa TV, redefining Africa.
Are you looking for photography service for your upcoming event? Is it a wedding, an engagement, or a special event? Look no further. Jojo Texan Images is here. Hire him today for great quality pictures, a quality service provided on the day, and a great personality. Jojo Texan Images is on social media. Follow him Instagram and Facebook at Jojo Texan Images or call him 312-450-5235 and book your appointments today. Jojo Texan Images. Simply excellent. Book him now.
Welcome to sankofaonline.com. Your number one diaspora news portal has joined with GhanaWeb.com to bring to you the latest news around the world, especially Ghana. Visit our website at www.sankofaonline.com, or you can download our app from the Google Play Store or App Store. Sankofa Online, serving the Ghanaian Chicago community.
Yes, people, we are back again, and we are rubbing shoulders with amazing Alinco Papa J. I mean, he's given us the genesis of I mean, the alpha and the omega of his life, and I mean, that's why he's Alinco. That's why we love him. That's why he's here today and telling us. That's why he does certain things that we don't understand. Alinco,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you
My
for
brother.
coming out. I can't thank you that much, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're a
Right.
busy guy. Sometimes I called you and you're like, I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. I was like, oh god. All right, Papa.
Yeah.
Tell me. Let's dive into your experience at WGAC, and
Right.
I mean at one point you are the general manager. Um, Most people that work there did not like you, and
Yeah.
I'm one of them who
Yeah.
actually I mean I'm the I should say I'm the rock that people will lean on and say we don't like him, we don't like him. I mean
Yeah.
I'm the guy, you know.
Yeah. The go-to guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the go-to guy. But
Yeah.
due to whatever that happened, you showed me um the much. I mean you showed me some type of maturity, and then for you to come forward and lay everything down for us to, pick our own battles and work on our own issues and things like that. We are here today, and I still love you. I respect you so much. You are one of the few people that I will always call a brother, because I like people when they know things are not going right, they can make it right. But
Right.
people who things are going wrong and they still want to push it wrong, and
Right.
it becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
I will still love those people. We still want
Yeah.
to bring them to us and make them our own. But if
Right.
they decide to go that way, that's fine. Tell me, were you surprised when you became the general manager, and how did that happen?
Okay. First of all, before I answer that question, Roscoe asked me to tell you. He said hi. I shared the flyer on my social media, and I shared
Who said that?
Roscoe,
Oh, Roscoe. Oh, okay,
your
okay,
friend, your
okay,
friend.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he saw the flyer. He's like, oh, yeah. It's like, wow. Tell
Wow.
him. He said, tell Black people I said hi. Yeah,
Alinco,
yeah.
do you have you sit back and think about that? We we, we 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 have so much friends in common.
Come on, yeah, yeah.
Have you sit back and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
analyze
yeah, yeah.
things? Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Even dating back to friends that we had in Ghana. And then coming to find out that we were in a school district that played
Yes,
that
yes, yes, yes.
together.
So
So
I believe
the
that
school,
we've crossed path
I'm
before.
sure. I'm sure
Yeah,
back in Ghana because Arsenal Academy Association, Jack and Jill,
yeah.
King of Kings,
King
we're in the
of
same
Kings.
area.
I mean, the
Yeah,
same area, the same area. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like you said, Ro who passed away.
Ronach, yes sir, yes sir. I know.
I
I
know
mean,
Ro like that.
everybody that you know, it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
I know them,
yeah. It's funny,
and
very, very
it's a
funny.
blessing. So I
It,
think
it is.
this union is there to is here
Yeah,
to stay. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care what people say.
I think see, I think one thing that we both have is we in spite of all our flaws, we are kind to people. We open up to people. You know, and we just give freely. We don't think if we have, we'll give. And I think you and I share that a lot. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think WGSC, me first of all, me being a general manager was a shock to me.
Mm,
I didn't know it was going to be like that. Um, Even though when I was working closely with the owner of WGAC, there was a lot of complaints. This is not done, this is not done. But at the time, I was working at BMO Harris in downtown, and so I would come in and help when I can. When I joined, when you invited me to WGAC, I don't know if you remember the first things that I said, or one of the first things that I said. One of them was that, bro, you have gold. When I saw the owner sitting behind the thing, I'm like, bro, you have gold.
yeah.
And and being me, I'm like, I gotta help this guy. Africa needs this. Africa needs a platform that we can use to tell our story, to promote our businesses, to make ourselves relevant in a very developed society. And we don't have that. And so if I'm seeing a brother with this type of achievement, I was sold. I'm like, wow, how can I help this guy? So I didn't even tell him how I was going to help him.
Mm,
And brother, you didn't know all the help I was giving until years later when I sent
yeah,
you an email
yeah,
documenting everything that I have invested and things that I've given.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And so yeah, I was just helping. As I said, I started helping. I was doing my show, but I realized there was a bigger platform, which is the radio station. The station needs this, the station needs that, the owner needs this. How can I help? To the point where it affected a lot of things personally. You know that.
Mm,
My ex, at the time I was married, my ex wasn't having it. I was spending too much time at the station. I was spending too much time with you guys. After the show, we'll sit down and chat.
yeah, yeah.
because to me, I felt like I had found a passion,
Yeah.
my passion, not because of the equipment at the radio station, but I saw a vision using the platform as the voice of the African people in the city of Chicago, for the majority, and for the most part, Midwest. How can we use this as a voice to unite us, to basically, promote, the African values and our culture and our excellence? And so that's what I fell for. I fell in love with that idea, and I think that was the voice that was missing in me. That was in me that I didn't know. So that actually sparked that vision and that passion. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to help this guy. Again, I didn't never told him, Kofi, I will buy you this or I will do this. I just did what I thought was needed. And so we ended up doing a show separately. I did my show, you did your show, and then one thing led to the other, and then we had to do what do you call it, a fundraiser, a yearly fundraiser, and it happened that I was planning it with the owner, and it happened that I had to be making payments as because you do a budget when you're planning an event, you do all that, and then you go, okay, we have to do this, and then you are planning it, and then before you know it, oh yeah, money, oh yeah, but we don't have the money, or maybe can you, okay, I'll help. If we don't have the money, I'll help. I mean, no big deal, you know.
So
And
you saying you put in money? I mean, just is it money that was just helping, or money that you guys have some type of idea of?
no,
Um,
no. My own money that I was just putting in. Our money, me and my ex, we were married. So, I mean, family money, I'll
wow.
just, oh, there's a need. Okay, we have to buy this for the event. We have to pay for events. We have to, that's again, the caterer, you know. I remember when I was paying Kujo. Kujo is the one that, I was writing checks, and I'm like, man, my wife was at the time, my ex-wife, like, man, one question she asked me, she said, "Baby, are you taking notes? Something about if I was recording all of these things."
Mm,
I said, yeah. But I was lying. I wasn't recording it, bro. I
yeah.
wasn't. I'm like, oh, my brother, he owns the station. He says that he doesn't have money. The station is not making money. He's not getting money from anywhere. Everything he's been able to invest, and the station is, I mean, he's been able to build what he has now. So I'm like, okay, if you be able to build to this point, maybe what some of us can do is to help you grow it, or help you, what I'm saying, like, progress it. I don't know if you can still see me. Okay, so that was my mindset. You see what I'm saying, Black? That was my
Right.
mindset. So I was just, so there's a budget, there's something that has to be paid. Well, Wabeshika, there's no money. Oh. You know
Oh,
the
no, no.
problem already.
Right.
So I pay. Oh, there is this. So because to me, you are the owner. You are doing the event. You know about all of this. I am working.
So it looks like we've lost Papa
And
Linko.
then,
Okay, he's back. One
okay,
second. Let me. All right, go ahead, Papa Linko.
yeah, we'll help when we can. And so when I'm called to help in terms of making the payment, I'm like, okay, fine. You need that help? Okay, write a check. Same thing for the Cup of Nations, the soccer tournament.
Right.
Yeah, the venue. We need money to pay for venue. I write a check. So, but specifically when I was announced as a general manager was at the Stan Mansion event. We put everything together. Organized it, and at the day of the event, I was glad that we've been able to put something good. We had
Mm,
invited people, Secretary of State. We had invited, top politicians in Chicago and Illinois. Actually, in Illinois, um, huge dignitaries, doctors, lawyers. We had invited people. Why? Because we wanted to announce that, look, the African radio station in Chicago has come to stay.
mm.
It is our voice, and we need you to support us, make it even bigger. That was my whole vision, my whole passion. And so I to me, I'm in the back. I'm going to support you, the owner. I'm going to push you to go there. You see what I'm saying? So, so that's what happened. And so at the event, we did several awards. I paid for all those awards, all those plaques. First of all, I chose we most of the people that we chose, I selected, and then wrote everything that what that has to be given to them, the reasons, every doggone thing.
Mm.
Selected the awards, paid for everything, among other things. But so yeah, so again, to me, how can I help? Look, I did the same thing for my church. My pastor, if he's listening now, he knows. Anytime there's a men's ministry or it's a program, I take care of it. I'm like, people are doing well in the church. Let's award them. Let's do this. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. Let's do it like that. And we make it happen. Nobody knows that I, make those things happen. But it doesn't matter. So I only said this because it's my nature to help. You see what I'm saying? So I did that, and so Star Mansion to me was a success. And so he announced finally at the event during the awards, we gave everybody an award, and then finally he said this one goes to the general manager, the operations manager, the blah blah blah. And he called me, and I was surprised. I was standing at the back. I was because I was just doing it for him. I was doing it for his organization. I was just trying to help my brother.
So
And then when
it's something that you have no idea about.
no, I didn't know I was good. Look how he even got the award because I organized the award. I went to the company who makes it right.
Mm.
And I wrote everybody's name down. And my name wasn't in. I did everything, so my name was not in any of the awards. So I didn't even know I was going to receive one. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Pell. Thank you. Yeah, that's true, Pell. That's very true. I didn't know. I didn't know Pearl. Black that I was going to
Yeah.
receive one. Because, again, I carved an award for everybody that we thought should be receiving one. I planned it with him, but most part like excellence for leadership, excellent for this and that and that. But I wasn't doing the event for myself. I was doing it for people and for my brother and his organization. So that was my mindset. So how they got a plaque for me, I don't know how they got it. And it looks the same. It looks similar to some of the awards that was given. So I don't know how. I don't know if you know something about it, but I didn't know.
That's where I wanted to go. I mean, I used to be um I was one of the go the go-to guy back in I mean
Yeah, at
back
WGC. Yeah,
then,
yeah.
But it got to a point that I was sidelined. They put me on the sideline, and I tried to find out what is going on. I'm trying to think and I try so much to be patient, to
Mm,
figure out what is going on and things like that. People were coming to me and finding out what's going on. I said I have no idea, and truthfully, I have no idea.
mhm,
So when did you? I mean, like you said, I brought you in and everything. You just love what is going on. You just want to support the movement. Um, where I have a problem with you at that time was like brother Lincoln was. I mean, is my guy and my brother. I mean, if anything, I mean, give me a heads up. But
mhm.
it looks like everything was like behind me, and I'm in the dark, doesn't know what is going on.
Right.
Why that? I mean, I wanted to know. I want to ask you
Mhm.
when. I mean, when you did not see me in many things or see me in the planning committee or whatever it didn't occur to you that bro, what's going on?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Mhm.
why
Yeah.
didn't you
So
come and say something?
yeah, it's you and I have spoken extensively on these things, right?
Mm,
Before Progressive Mind started, there was an issue of um, you
powered
know,
by.
powered by you, some all of that, right?
Right.
I was called and I was told something different. I was called again by the owner. Hey, blah blah blah, and I'm sure you receive a different call too. Based on what I was told, I'm like, okay, I can do my show. I was given the assurance, go ahead and do your show. Don't bother about whatever. Just go ahead and do your show. Right? So that gives you an example of how things started. You not being in the mix started gradually. In that when I came, I know it was the two of you. So I was just a third person who was trying to help with my radio show and helping when I can, money here and there, whatever. You faded out, I'll say gradually because, and again, I don't know if we can say everything on air.
No, I mean just
Okay,
brush it.
okay,
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
What was happening was that, okay, let's do this because Black is not available or Black is not going to do it or Black is Black is not here.
Or Black is not serious.
Well, so let's do it. I'll be like, okay, look, let's do it because Black A, B, C, D. I'm like, okay, I told you this before, I always said to the owner, if it comes to you and Black, because you were the two people that were running things before I came, and I always treated you guys that way until your birthday. We did a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Okay. That whole thing, you wouldn't be surprised where it came from, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it came from your end.
Yeah. I went to Joel and bought all that stuff.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, he called me. So, our brother, let's do something. Yeah. I'm like, cool, I got you. So, and knowing Black, I went and bought all of that. So your birthday, all that stuff, but never told you.
Wow.
So I treated you and him as my bosses. So each time there was an issue of, hey, let's do this, Black like this. I'm like, when it comes to you and Black, that's what I always said. I've said, when it comes to you and Black, you the owner and Black, I can't say anything. Or when it comes to Black, I can't touch Black. I can't, because the two of you are like, the bosses. I just came in. So if it comes to the two of you, I can speak on it. If it comes to him, I can't touch him.
Right.
Yeah. Have we had conversations about, man, the frustrating things, man, Black has to do this, Black has to do that. Like, yeah, man, this is frustrating, man. We gotta, so Black has 3 shows, Black, Black is, running his own deal. Black is supposed to be a partner, but he's doing this, he's doing that, Well, so you can understand that it wasn't Sena. There is no way Sena can say, kick this person out. And I always say this, and God is my witness. There's never a person at WGAC that I have said, you know what, let's kick this person out, let's take this person out because I didn't like the person. The only time that I said we didn't like a person on WGAC was when we started the morning show.
The morning show, yeah.
Yeah. There was a lady,
African American lady.
Yeah, and some guys.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't because I didn't even like it, it was the delivery, right? And I thought that a morning show should have a certain weight. So we'll go there and we'll discuss. I don't like that. Anybody that has left WGAC or that has had to go had never been because Sena or Alinco did not want the person there. I was only acting on instructions. And so you not being in the scene again happened gradually. It was look, Black is not here, Black is not doing this, Black is not doing this. Let's do it. Right now it's just you and I. You feel me? Right now it's just you and I. That was the impression. It wasn't the impression. I was called a brother. I was called a co-owner. I was called general manager. I was called.
You were called everything.
I was called co-partner, everything, and only but for paper. Everything I was called. The only thing was that it was not on paper. The reason why I left WGAC, fast forward, After 2.5 years to 3 years, I was called everything. I did everything. I was relied on for everything. I was used for everything. Again, from letters.
Before you go there, let me ask you: do you feel today that they use you, or the WGAC use you as a scapegoat to put a lot of put hate, put you as the image of hate to
But
people?
so yeah, I'm trying to address the point. So yeah, I'll come to that. Now, coming to think of it, I never thought I was being used as a scapegoat.
Mm.
To me, nobody would have kept me there but myself. Mind you, I told you that this station became an issue between me and the woman I was married to,
Yeah, your love. I mean, that
my
is deep.
wife.
That is serious.
Look,
That is.
at some times she would tell me certain things
And
about.
before
Let me tell you this.
let me let people know, this is not. I mean, this is something that you don't want to say on air
Yes.
or anywhere.
Yeah.
But I push you to a point that I mean, for you to lose your wife, I mean, it's deadly. You
Yeah,
know.
but let me
Yeah.
say this. Let me say this. Now, I wouldn't want anybody listening to me is to say, "Hey, WGSE is the reason why I lost my marriage." No,
Mm.
we had issues. Who knows where it would have ended? We had our problems, but to know that that was the topic at the time, which led to our separation. That because it started. It started. Don't do this. Don't do this. She told me in my face. Like to the question that you asked, the question you asked if I thought I was used. I didn't know I was used, but my ex told me 3 months into WGS, I think 6 months, maybe. She asked me a few questions, 3 questions. After answering it, she told me point blank, "You are being used."
Mm.
My ex told me, this thing I remember it up to now. She told me your friend is using you. Period. Okay, but I had so much. Again, for me, it was we had a platform that has never existed for the African community, in my
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
And we have a voice and you see what I'm doing with Progressive Minds?
Yeah.
That and more is what I wanted to do for him. And I was doing that for my brother. I did not even care about setting up a whole Progressive Minds for my own and being on my own. No, I was using one of the reasons why I would bring people, Secretary of State and all those big shots to the point. One of the reasons was that, you know, it was making our station relevant. It wasn't for me. Nobody paid me. Not the owner of the station. I wasn't getting money. Nobody was giving money. It was just I was rather putting my resources and my time and everything in it. I was going to meetings upon meetings. The owner knows it. Sometimes you call me and you're like, "Bro, I'm trying to." So that's when the issue you heard that. Okay, I'm not even going to say some of the things, but but
That's
but
right.
but a whole bunch happened. So I didn't know I was being used. But you are right. A lot of people hated me
Yeah.
to the point where you also Black, who was my friend, who took me to the station, my brother,
Right.
you developed so much hate for me for about a year and a half. You were not talking to me, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it was mind blowing. I was
And
going crazy.
I hate you for real. It's not like a joke.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like dead and I mean life and death issue, man.
Yeah,
That is how much I hate you.
and you told me one time.
Yeah.
You told me one time that you hated me so much, and a lot of people hated me so much that it was very dangerous for my life. Me
Yeah.
as I work with at WGS, and
Yeah.
I didn't know why. Now, after talking to you, and we'll come to where I broke the jinx when
Yeah.
I spoke to you. But again, all the while, I was acting on instructions, one, and two, I was using my acumen to build the station up.
Yeah.
The business plan for that station, I wrote it. I paid for it. I didn't literally write it, but I sponsored and paid for it.
Wow.
You know the rules and regulations and all of those things you see on the wall, right?
Right.
you know how you know who wrote it. You know how it came up.
Right. I mean that yeah. I mean you have
Good. Now aside that, I didn't. Of course, it wasn't just me. People like you.
I was
You come
everybody
there
was it's a
7
collective
a.m.
effort. Yeah.
You come there 7 a.m. with your daughter, just to produce a show. What's the name? Julian was. I did not know that anybody else was contributing anything to WGS or making payments. Even RVJ, the show, is it RV,
RVR.
RVR. I
RVR.
didn't know they were making weekly payments. I never knew they were making pay. All I knew was that RVR has not paid for 3 months. RVR owes, they haven't paid the station, so fire them. Okay, so send them a suspension letter. You were the general manager. You can sit down and help this happening. You were the general manager. You were the general manager. Well, I got okay. So instructions from the boss. I sent a letter. I sent an email. Hey, you haven't paid. I have been told you haven't paid, so your show is suspended. Now, based on some of the things that I uncovered, if you were paying for your show and I didn't know, and you received an email from me, or maybe you missed a payment and then I received an email from me, you know it very well that you were paying at the third party, right? So you were paying one person, and me being a general manager, not knowing, but you think that I know because I'm the general manager, so you are assuming that I know.
Exactly.
But when I send you a suspension letter, you would be mad at me. But what was happening was that you don't come to me. What was happening is that you get a call from the person that you made the payment to.
That's right.
To say, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. You can come
back again, and
you can come and do your show. Meanwhile, you're receiving a letter from me of suspension. So you then see me as a fool. Like what is going on?
Yeah.
And brother, this is the reason for the hate. You asked me that question. I think you and I spoke about it.
Yeah.
The reason for the hate that I had all the while was that there was so many. I was just trying to do well for the business. Look, if you talk to Q4, the owner, today, if you pick a call and say, John, you work with Alinco, you work with Sena WGAC, at the time was at WGAC. What do you think of him? He would tell you. I was just solely, I would organize the meeting, I would make sure that everybody comes, I would chair the meeting based off the conversation that me and the boss had and the instructions to follow.
Right.
And when I follow these things, it seemed as though they were hearing other things in the back aside what I was communicating or what I was asked to communicate.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. Again, I didn't know. So when I met you, so when you hated me for about a year and a half, and then I didn't know why, but one day, and so as a result, I'm like, Black, I don't know why he hates me, but if he hates me that much, F him, I don't care about it. I don't care about him, right? Because I know I have it. Look, fear cannot exist in a clear conscience, brother. So when I saw you that day at the funeral, I'm like, even though this brother,
may he so rest in peace. May he so rest in peace, Mr. Smart.
Yeah. When I saw you there, even though I have heard and known and seen on social media, sometimes when you say some shit about me on social media, do you know who takes the picture and send it to me? The boss, the owner of the station we were working for.
Because you are not my friend.
Because
I wonder how.
Yes, because we were not friends on Facebook. So after a while, when we went separate ways, so he would take a picture and take a picture and say, "This is what Black is saying about you on Facebook." So I'll be pissed. I'm like, "What the fuck what the F is Black doing?" I don't know what I've done to Black. Why would Black hate me so much? So again, after a year and a half, I walked to you, again, knowing how vehemently you hated me.
Yeah.
But I walked to you and I said, brother, whatever it is that I have done to you over the years that has caused you to do this, talk to me. You hesitated for some time. At the time, you were there with Bennett.
Yes.
You didn't want to talk to me. You didn't want to see my face. But yes, I impressed on you.
You're impressed, and Bennett. But I mean, I really applaud you for that. I respect you. I mean, that puts your respect level to a different level. I mean, that puts you to a different level of respect that I have for people. I mean, and to be honest, man,
And when we
man.
did that,
I
bro,
mean, to go back. I mean,
yeah,
it's a blessing. It's a blessing
yeah,
because I thought Bennett. It's good that Bennett was there as well because Bennett is somebody that I really really respect a lot. Like
right,
he's my godfather, you know. So Bennett. At that time, I was talking to Bennett when you walk in, and then Bennett told me stay cool because you have talked to Bennett before
yeah,
about
yes, yes.
so Bennett have idea.
Yes, I told Bennett I didn't know what was going on, and
Yeah,
so he already knew that I wanted to talk to you because I was yeah. So yeah,
yeah. So Bennett, when you were walking towards me, I was telling Bennett I don't want to. I know, I was mad already, but Bennett told me cool down. Let's listen to what he had to say and things like that. And I'm so happy that I cooled down. I'm so happy that I had that patience at that time, and we are here today. It's a blessing. I mean,
no, seriously, because when I did that, you Black got to know
mm,
that you shouldn't have hated me because you got to know
yeah,
some things, right? And you
yeah,
didn't get to know because I told you. You called,
yeah,
and when you called, whatever you heard about me could not be ascertained by the owner, the person who told you.
right,
The person who became a thorn between the two, you and I, couldn't authenticate that. Oh yes, all these things that I said about Alinco, yes, it's true. I mean, all these things that I, because it was like Alinco says this, Alinco says this, Alinco says, Alinco did this. Okay, now you say Alinco did this. Now verify. Here is Alinco on the phone. Here is me on the phone. Here is you on the phone. Now verify in front of Alinco. What happened? Tell what happened, Black, that day when you called, when you did a
I mean,
three-way. What
I mean, few insult and hang up. That's it. I mean, that's it.
if you insult from the person who was supposed to verify the truth and he hung up.
Mm,
And I'm like, wow. And since then, certain things started unraveling to you yourself.
yeah.
Now you went back to WGAC.
Yes, I did.
And
I did,
after
and
you left,
that's the type of person I am. You know,
right, right.
I yeah,
So when you went back, that is when it confirmed to you even more
yeah,
that all this stuff that was being said about Linko, all this, like you saw it for yourself.
yeah.
And everybody else that went back to that station, tell me how many of them are still working there. Okay, so the purported issue was that Alinco is the one that says Alinco is the one that did everything to you. So let's assume people left because of Alinco. Now Alinco is no more because I heard that people were being called because everything that happened, Alinco was the one that was doing everything. No, Alinco is gone, so you can come back. So people went back. And when people went back, now without Alinco, it should have been better, right?
Right.
But all those people have left. Now, they may not have seen everything why they seen everything, but I saw everything. And the Black, I was amazed when I found out that some of the equipment that we had at the station was bought by some of the presenters.
Mm,
People bought some of the things that we're using, even the table, the desk. When I realized and found out that the desk that we use at WGAC was bought and assembled by Abuna Ampofu, the
mm,
day I realized that, the day I knew, and to know that I worked there for 2.5 years, and everything I heard and knew about Abuna never did not include that table and the chair that we sat on to do a show.
mm.
And to find out from Abuna herself that she actually assembled that. She painted all that place. She was the one that we have the logo that we have now. It was the colors. She chose the colors.
Mm.
And never knew this, the 2.5 years, almost 3 years that I was there, about Abuna. Brother, I froze. Like and that was after I had left. And I'm like, wow. So a lot of things went down, bro. A lot of things went down. And when it comes to my contribution, monetary wise, I've documented it. I sent it to you. You've seen it. I have it. When the right time comes and we have to do what we have to do, we'll do it. It's there. I just didn't document it the way I should have, but But after everything, I went and documented stuff.
I think you did your best. I mean, we didn't understand where you are coming from. You see, Sikaya Moja.
Yeah.
So when you are putting in so much, and we are just behind, and we are just working there, and we don't know what is in there, what is at stake. We thought um, you were stepping a lot of toes and things like that. People didn't understand where you are coming from. But that
But
that
but,
also that
but let me ask you though,
uh,
what were some of the things that were people were even hearing that Alinco said? Because I hardly took any decision at the station without
I mean,
the boss.
even though you didn't, you did
Oh, I
not.
wasn't even taking decisions.
Yes, but
I wasn't.
you are the go-to guy. That's why I asked you. Were you? And
Because I'm trying
as of
I'm trying to
today,
find
when
out.
when you sit back, you can realize, or you can feel like, man, this guy or this company make a fool out of me. You know.
Maybe so, because guess what? The reason why, to the extent where you were told that I was at a point in time, you were told, and then you discussed this with me, at the point in time that I was trying to, um, you know, work behind the station. You see what I'm saying? I know you know,
Yeah.
you know. What I'm saying.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I sent you a
You
text
send me
evidence.
the evidence. Yes. I mean,
I
you
sent
have
the evidence.
everything. You have all the evidence that, those who doesn't know you will
Will
see
think that,
you different. But
so my
for
thing is,
me,
yeah,
I will. I mean, I wouldn't. Yes, if I didn't know that, if I didn't have all these things that you showed to me, I mean, all this evidence,
you would
I
have
would
hit
think the
me.
other way around as well.
Right.
So,
Because because
um,
because because you leaving the station, or you having, a show, right? Black. I don't know what decision I took about Black, or anything that I said about Black, right? Even the check that you wrote, you know.
man, that check thing really case. I mean,
But
that's
and like I said, that even that check, right? There is not a single decision that I took about Black that should have affected Black. So I don't know what Black heard about Alinco that caused the hate, right? So that is one. Two, let's say, so there was RVR. RVR had an issue with me, and I didn't know. But for me, I was communicating with RVR based off the instructions that I was getting.
right.
Now, not knowing there was a deep hate, and I didn't know where the deep hate was. And then there was the issue with Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk too didn't like me for some reason. And I'm like, I have never taken a decision on Pillow Talk unless I am asked. The only thing I've been asked to say about Pillow Talk or to communicate to Pillow Talk is write them a letter. And brother, I was doing all these things without even a contract with my name on it.
And ordered your show too.
Uh-huh. Yes, they say Hododio. I was asked to send them a letter because Hododio
Supporting black.
supporting Black on social media. So there was a call. Tell those people I don't want to see them on my show again. Send them a letter. I sent Hododio a letter, and guess what? I became a bad person because the communication came from me, right? And I understand that maybe at that time, even though I had the instruction to fire or send a letter or send an instruction to Hododio team for ABC, maybe I should have said, hey, what did you do? No, can you fix the problem? Maybe can we talk about this? Maybe that's what my fault is. And I should have done that.
Right.
I couldn't do all of that because, like, bro, I was struggling myself after
That's
everything.
right. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
struggling
Yeah.
because I was thinking about a lot that I have lost, a lot that I have given up. I gave up on corporate. I told you I was working
Yeah.
at BMO Harris. I decided not to focus on corporate, but to dedicate time because I felt like this project needed time
Yeah.
and dedication to build up. And bro, all this while I had no contract. My name was not anything. And
Wow.
again, so why would I do this?
Yeah.
Why? It's not like I've been promised 50% of the company and I'm working to get that, right? Or why would that? Would your show, like I had to hunt for about 7 months for this team,
Yeah.
right?
Amazing team.
Amazing team.
And you know what bothers me about Ododio show? Because I don't know why I don't even know why you guys suspend Ododio show.
No,
Is
no,
that
no. Simple. It's simple. The suspension came because
mm,
and I've told you this before. Some of the things we can say on air, right? But you and I,
right,
the
right,
suspension came because I think the first suspension came because a lot of the instruction was that we are suffering. Nobody is paying dues. Nobody is paying nothing. And at the time, comment will comment bill. They say comment bill. Internet goes off, and I was paying some of the internet bills with my money, right?
I didn't know all this. I didn't know all this.
Wait. And so they said this, like according to the boss, people are not paying. And look, I never saw money, and he was the one that had contract with people. I didn't have contract, so was I being stupid at the time? I acted very stupidly in terms of my position, and not taking certain things serious. I was just following passion, and sometimes those are the mistakes you make in life, and you learn. Because
Right.
I was just saying, "Oh, I'm the general manager. That's what I am called," without any paper on any documentation showing that I was general manager. But I was just saying, "Okay, I'm going to keep working as long as I have this." So, Sena, Alinco, let's do this. We got to do this. And for me, because of progress, yes, I'm just going to go ahead and execute. Kododio show and other shows was asked to be suspended because they were not contributing to the show monetary wise. Nobody was contributing to the show monetary wise. So all these shows had to be suspended. So that was done. Then during the suspension, then came the information that Hododio show, one of the Hododio show members, was supporting you, Black Jesus, your event or something about your event. And so he's done. I mean, the owner took, it was a call. Look, I'm done with these people because there was a beef against you too. The owner had an issue with you for several reasons. Like,
I have
so,
no idea.
yeah, right. So you didn't know that, but because it's a whole lot, bro. It's a whole lot. And again, some of the
I mean,
things
the time will not. I mean, I think this is what I want to do. I'm gonna bring some few guys that have some things on their heart that they want to pour it out. Like,
DSC, yes.
so we'll sit down and then talk because I know people. I don't want people to have. I'm a type of guy that I don't. I love people, man. I love people to come around. I don't want to see people hating people. And once upon a time, I feel bad hating you so bad. And I couldn't stand that hate. I'm not. I don't hate people. I don't. I'm not that type of a guy. But I'm so I know there's a lot of people. My little sister Julia Gam. I have Trace Catos. I have Ogay. I have all these guys who have a lot of pain because I know what they did. Even though for me, for instance, maybe at that I didn't have no money, so I did not put in any resource. But I know my sweat and blood was in there. I was pushing it. I was doing what I have to do. But so I think I'll bring some few guys around and then we'll talk about this issue. And
No,
then so that people will know why they are not there because they keep on asking me, "Oh, you me anya there? Yeah, yes, see, and I yes, see, and I'm
yeah, let's do that.
no, it's not
Yeah,
about that."
yeah, let's do that because listen, like I said, who came to WGAC and has now left? Even people that I brought, the secretary you see there today, the lady who works for our WGAC, I was the one that brought her to the station. I brought her to the station. I think she still works there now. I brought her to be a board member to use her skill set to help WGAC without me being paid, without me being given any type of remuneration. Even though I was going through what I was going through, I still wanted the station to grow. So I went and brought her to help the station. Till date, she's the one that's working for WGAC. I don't know if she's left yet,
I've not been there for
Yeah,
long.
I brought a couple shows. Those people are gone.
So let's
Again,
fast forward it.
Hododio, I did not labor for any other team like Hododio.
Although you think, yeah.
Call Togbi, call people within the Elwa
SB
Association.
Don.
As no, not. I was calling Togbi. I was calling. Was it Togbi? People within the elders. Mr. Timpo Dems. Mr. Timpo Dems. I called Mr. Timpo one time. I'm like, we are looking for people to come and do an Elwa show at WGAC. Why? Because we want to promote the culture. We want to promote the Elwa culture. And so I was just calling people. It took me 7 months, bro. I was hunting until I talked to Empress, until I talked to Hododio, SB Don, and Mike, and literally gave them the vision and said, look, this is what we are looking for at WGs. This is what I want you to do. Empress told you, this is what we want you to do. And so when they came together, so why even their first flyer, I made it for them. All I'm saying here is the reason I'm saying this. Why would I suffer so much to put a team together without being paid? Without Ododio paying me or anybody else paying me money, right? Bring a team together, and guess what? And I also told them that you will be the biggest show in town if you do Ododio the way that with the style and the way you're doing it. Yeah. So why? And I want them to grow. Before they started, I already saw their vision and saw their future and knew that they were going to grow. So, and if they are growing, why would I then say I'm taking them off a platform that I labored so much to bring them on? Why would I take them off? It makes no sense. If again at the time that I had the instruction to get them off, my brother, I was done because I was just getting so much on my head personally because I was suffering personally from the owner too because I was just going through everything. And again, I can't say it because, mind you, if you're putting in your money and your time and you've lost a lot and you cannot even have your name, you cannot even have a name. I took the owner to a bank for loans so that WGAC can have capital to grow. Somebody wanted to give us a loan and I called the owner. Somebody wanted to help us with money, but they wanted to see my name on WGAC documents showing that I am indeed a legitimate part of the team or legitimate person on the team. And I went to the owner. These are the reasons why I left because I couldn't get that. Even that I couldn't get after going through everything. So you think that if I'm going through all of this personally and you call me that I want you to send an email to this person and get them off the show, would I even think twice? Because even my own position is shaking because I was thinking about my future. Yeah. I was thinking about everything about the show. Look, from the interns, I'll go to Illinois Media School. I'll go to Columbia Media School. Downtown. Just to get interns who can come and work for us for free because we couldn't pay anybody. Do you know how much it would cost me to go there, my time, talk to people, park in downtown, have meetings upon meetings, put documents together, put contracts together so that precious people can come and work for WGAC for free? Do you know what it takes? So if you were doing all of this and you cannot even have your name on a paper to show that you are part of a team legitimately, and you are being asked to send somebody an email because that person hasn't paid, whether the person paid or not, I don't know. All you do this. The least of my worries is somebody's letter or somebody's position because I was struggling myself and nobody knew about it. But it wasn't anybody's fault. It was my own responsibility. I took it upon myself, so I bore the pain by myself. And so when it was time for me to leave, I said, I have suffered enough. And if I can get the least of things, then after everything I have tried to do for WGS, and I haven't even said a quarter of the things, bro.
I know. So
Look at all
I mean, our time, because of time.
Street
I mean,
Fest.
this.
Street Fest. You know the work that went to Street Fest. That Street Fest we did at Broadway. Broadway. Do you know who paid for everything? Do you know how we made that Street Fest happen? We blocked Broadway and Wilson in the history.
And that is the biggest achievement for
In the history of Chicago.
WGAC.
No African community, no African community has been able to attain a block Wilson
That's
and Broadway host a festival.
That's huge. That's huge.
The owner was not even in Chicago; he was in Ghana at the time. We did everything. He owned, bro. So if you have sacrificed this much, and then to not know that you are not respected in the least of ways, you can have my name on the paper. I don't deserve to have my name on paper. Okay, that's fine enough. After everything, after not knowing all this while too, I was being self-shocked to you because you got to hate me because of the information you were getting from him.
That's right.
And then many other people too. So it is.
Yeah.
You and I have spoken so many times.
So much. I mean, yeah, I know the A's and B's and C's and everything. So I am cool now, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there who still want to know why. I mean, they have the word why in their mind. So we'll find the time to bring all these materials together, and we'll talk and digest, and then let it go, and that's it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the good stuff of. I mean, after WGAC. I mean, we have about next 20 minutes. I mean, I thought this show is gonna be an hour show, but it's so interesting that we are almost about 2 hours now. We are going to 2 hours.
That's what happens when you bring two radio hosts on a show.
Exactly, it's a problem. It's a problem. Yes. So, brother Lincoln, after WGAC, you took a leave. I know you took some time off and said, listen, I mean, you sent a whole drop down, a whole list, or a whole what do you call it, statement that bigger things are coming and things like that. And we saw you at is it Q4?
Q4 radio, yes.
Q4 radio and things like that. And then and you know the funny thing, you know, in between the hustle and hills and mountains and obstacles and things like that, I find myself around you, and I'm saying, what are you doing at Q4? You can do your own thing. You have you have the power, you have the material, you have the people. Come on, man, you don't need nobody.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the journey of the newborn of Alinco with Progressive Mind.
When I took that long break, I was really broken. I was really broken. So but God, thank God, He's giving me this thing. I'm able to handle, pressure. So I did this event called the Exchange. That was last year. Exchange was commemorating 400 years. Last year was 400 years, and last year was also the year of return. I realized that the year of return was something huge that the president of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo had initiated. But I didn't see the significance of that here in Chicago. I didn't see it was a big deal to African Americans. It's a big deal. I mean, I think it was a big deal, but
it was a big deal.
I wasn't seeing it. I'm like, why is this thing not celebrated or, acknowledged the way it was? So I combined that with 400 years. 400 years, I think, when Africans used to live in peace, we got separated. Now we have become pieces, Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans. We become different types of Africans or Black people. But I felt like if the United States is acknowledging 400 years since the first slave got into this country, and that year was also the year of return declared by Nana Addo, and African Americans are going back to Africa to see Ghana, we have to capture that moment. It's never going to happen again. I don't know when it's going to. It maybe happen, but it may be another 100 years. So I wanted to capture the moment And so we did the exchange. We did it at the Disable event, Disable Museum. We had a beautiful cultural celebration of Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans coming together.
I saw that. I saw some of the
Beautiful,
videos.
beautiful event. Beautiful event.
So you organized that?
That was me, bro.
Wow.
That was me. And this is what I was giving WGS at the time for free. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, for free with my money too, everything. So God willing, we were able to. I had help with Ugochi, and then Pilar, the two beautiful ladies within the community. Ugochi is a Nigerian-born American, but she's a singer too. She's very big in Chicago. They getting to 2 months of the show, I was really, really struggling. So I spoke to Ugochi. She believed the concept. She came together and then, helped me to the finish line. So it was a great success. I think the first time in the history of Chicago, something like that had been done. So and then people were also talking to me, just like you said. I remember meeting, I don't know if I should mention him, but maybe I'll mention the name. He used to come to WGAC, and you know him. He met me at Stoneboy's event when Stoneboy came to Chicago. He said, Alinco, that was when I was at Q4. He said, Alinco, why are you taking your talent to other people? Why don't you do something for yourself? He said, why don't you do something for yourself? And that's when I realized, I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But you see, I am as the type of person that takes time to make things happen. I listen to my spirit. I listen to my soul. And so even when I was WGAC, do you know people had been advising to set up as the man who wanted to give us a loan, the one who wanted to give me a loan of $50,000, but on condition that he saw a document from the owner, from the organization that I was representing. He actually suggested it to me. He said, like all these things I see you struggle for this station back and forth. Why don't you set up your own? I've been hearing this even when I was at WGAC, but I always told people, why would I want to compete with my brother when he already has a platform?
Yeah.
Why don't we build it together? Why would I set up my own somewhere? And so I'm creating competition for him. And we have to grow together. We have to build together, bro. People have mentioned this to me severally, and I don't want to mention names, that the people that I've come in contact with, and not because they just see that I can do a radio, but I go to them talking passionately about WGAC and how we can grow and how they can help us.
Yeah.
And they see the passion, and then they see me and they say, bro, do this for yourself. Why can't you do this for yourself? So yes. So eventually, Q4 reached out to me. And it says, if you can, he says, so this is what John said. He says, Sena, if you can do this at WGAC with what you are going through, look at what I have done. If you come here, we can even make it bigger. And so we had several meetings. It didn't take me one time. I thought about it, and I'm like, progressive minds has to come back.
Yeah.
And I wanted to build a platform, and it took me a long time. So I went to Q4, and then when COVID came, thank God, God has a way of making things happen to you, right?
That's right.
When COVID came, guess what? We were told that because of COVID, so we can't be there in person. We can't come to the studio.
That's right.
After a month, I was the one that was reaching out to the owner. Oh, so can we, I was once, we have to start something, we have to do something. I was reaching out to him, let's begin something. And responses wasn't coming. So I'm like, okay. Then, I must as well just start my thing on, and then another person spoke to me, Dr. Cook. I said, he's an African American. He said, Sena, he spoke to me very wisely. And he gave me all the reasons why. He said, you have to come back on air because of A, B, C, D, and all of that. So I'm like, okay, I hear you. I wasn't prepared. I'll send you a picture of how I was set up. The first day I went live, brother, I'll send you a picture. It was so funny. I had nothing. It was just my phone.
That's right.
And because I like to be a perfectionist, I wanted everything in place and all of that. I said, how can I? So I started anyway, the way I, with what I had, and gradually, God made a way, and I have a whole. You can see I'm doing this for my studio now.
That's right.
Um, I have a whole setup now. It's not as perfect as I want it, but it's something. And
Yeah.
so we are back on track. And the vision that I had in my head that I wanted to give to my brother for free, and that I gave to my brother for free for 2.5 years. Now I can implement it for my own.
That's right. That's right.
For
That's the
myself.
beautiful
For
part of
myself,
it.
for
And
myself. Yeah.
I mean, same as Trend Africa TV. I realized that I have to do something. I have something in me that
Yeah.
I have to do something. I have to do something. Come on, man. I mean, you guys suspended my show for like what 4 months, and
Yeah.
then I mean, I was like, what the hell? I believe when it comes to social media thing,
Mhm,
um, I am the I'm the alpha and omega. I started the social media thing here in Chicago. I
mhm,
mean,
mhm,
the first person to actually put a camera in front of him and start doing the show at the WGAC and things like that. So especially when our Facebook Live and things like that. So I was like, man, I have to do something. I have to do something. And then
Yeah. Yeah. And now you
God,
have
God, God being so good, I met amazing young boy. I mean, he's a man. He's a young man who actually have so much talent. I mean, I met him through because I used to have I still have it. I have Front Row Entertainment. I'm the CEO of Front Row Entertainment. It didn't go well. We still pushing it. It's still there.
Mhm.
I still have one artist on my label, but through that I met that girl. This amazing, beautiful
Yeah, that girl.
musician.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That.
and then through her, she introduced me to her manager, and then Trend Africa was, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
The
just
man.
to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day that you interview me, I have a lot to talk about as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it has, I think that is a good thing. That is a good thing that WGAC have done for us. You
Yeah.
know, for you to see. I mean, I believe we learn some things from there. Um, uh, some good things and some bad things.
Mhm,
I always say that WGAC gave me the platform
mhm,
to become or to I mean, I'm a sales guy, so communication wasn't a bad thing for me. I know how to communicate, but to do on the radio is a different ball game. So my brother Kofi helped me here and there. I learned a lot from him. I would not take that from him at all. I learned a lot from him when it comes to radio.
mhm,
But I have my own personality.
mhm,
So with what I learned and my personality, took me to a different level.
mhm,
So me having, and then also the beautiful part of the Trend Africa is that I have amazing woman who actually love media, and
mhm,
she's I mean, she's like you. She got to get everything on point. She always check me. I mean, sometimes I just go in and do what I have to do, but she's the type that we have to put it A, B, C up to Z. So
right.
that have shaping Trend Africa to where we are today, and we are
Mhm,
still, we are still pushing it.
mhm,
We haven't got there yet, but I mean, we are getting there. We are getting there, and I'm happy for you for
yeah.
all that you went through. People doesn't understand most of the things that you did. Me, for instance, I didn't understand until we iron some things, and um, so as time goes on, people will get to know why you did certain things at
No,
that
but
time.
but but Black, you have to be emphatic. If you say we iron some things, it's not like okay. It's like you know, you have to be emphatic what you realized, right?
Oh no, no. I
Because
mean, I know if I want to put it out there like that, it's gonna be another 2 hours.
yeah, because I told
Yeah,
you what was going on,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
made
You
a
did,
call
you did, you did. Yeah,
to know the truth, find out the truth for yourself, right? And then you called me in December of 2018 or 2019,
mm,
after you went back,
right.
and then you were like, bro, yeah,
There's
yeah.
something wrong.
Uh, there's something wrong. There's something internally wrong, and that is when you and I started talking about let's do something together, let's work together.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we were cool. We got separated for very very
Long time.
wrong reasons, right? But now that we are both realizing the truth about ourselves, because you heard some things, and I heard some things about you, and you heard something about me, and which was all now true. So once we cut, so one lesson that I've learned in my life is if anybody tells, if you ever hear anything about anybody, or somebody comes to you talk about something, you need to speak to that person and verify.
Yeah.
Whoever
True.
is telling you about somebody, you need to call that person and verify. Because one thing that you and I didn't do is we never spoke to each other or try to figure out until years later when I said, let me talk to my brother. And when we did, we because had we not done that, we would have stayed enemy for the rest of our lives.
That's true. That is
If
very
we had
true.
not done that, we would have stayed enemies for the rest of our lives. And
That is
now you
very
and I are talking about building something together, working together, collaborating. And so it's very, very important, this lesson learned in life. And I think that if nobody has taken anything from this show, this one thing is very important that you should put in your pocket. From it's really because you can destroy a whole generation
Yeah.
for the rest
Yeah.
of your life.
I mean, because
Yeah,
me and you have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful relationship. I mean,
yeah. With
our
bodies, yeah.
friendship was on. I mean, there's some type of. I mean, it's just
We were
so.
very cool.
It was.
Very
Your
cool.
wife will call. I mean, I remember when my daughter was sick. Your wife will call. She's so worried about Maya being sick, and
Yeah,
I mean, you being there, coming around.
yeah,
I mean, you are like a godfather to Maya, man.
yeah.
And then suddenly everything was like, I was like, what is going? I mean, I was mad. But
Yeah.
thank God.
It's bad. Listen, I will say that anytime you remember when we're talking, we've been talking for about a year now after WGS. We've been talking and we spent hours and trying just reminiscing. We're like, that's what has happened. Oh, okay, now that's what is we've gone through all of that. We've gone through all of that. But
Yeah,
one thing I always also said to you is that and each time the competition of WGS will come up, I would say it was a blessing. It was a training ground for us,
yeah, it was a
right?
training ground.
It was a
It was
blessing
training
for
ground.
us. It was a training ground for us. Had it not been for WGS, we probably wouldn't be doing this right now. Maybe in this time in our life, maybe sometime, but maybe in this time in our life, we probably will
Yeah,
not. So it is. So even though I went through what I went through, you went through what you went through. I mean, the pain and it's all the stuff that I took. I have never anywhere wished ill because again, to the date, even when I know the person who keeps the administration of WGSA going, and we have this is somebody that I know very well, and I brought her there. And if I have any, and I had so many of WGSA stuff, I have them. If I have anything bad about WGSA and I want to hurt it, it was very very easy. But I never for once thought anything negative, right? And
that's
so
good.
because I believe that it was a platform that God used to bless me.
Yeah,
And whatever happened, I took it as a lesson.
yeah,
The only time that I jiggered or got angry was that when I hear personal things that was said about me that was untrue. Like, oh, Alinco said this, Alinco said, and coming from the person that I trusted, I mean, it really hurt me. And sometimes I would say things and say, man, when I meet him, this,
I know.
but those are human, but to be honest with you, and you attest with me, you attest to what I'm saying, that I've always said, let's leave it, let's leave the past. It was a blessing. There's greater things ahead of us that we can do. So yeah, I just wanted to let that out.
Yeah, and I know. I think we have to have part two of this, me and you
Oh,
again,
we do,
because
yeah.
we didn't get the time to talk about African Americans and Africans and what you've been doing. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't just. So I believe we'll have part two. We'll find a time to
Yeah,
have part two because I want people to know what you are doing in the community that they don't see.
I understand, right? Okay,
Yeah,
right.
your passion is to bring African and African Americans together and things like that. They build a community, and not. I mean, you are very known when it comes to different African what do you call it? You go to the Nigerian community, they know
Yeah.
you. You go to the Zambia. I mean, and these are some of the things that you are doing. You bring all these people along and trying to build a better community for ourselves. But
Yeah.
it takes time. But you are still working, and I'm so happy for you.
No, it's important. It's
Yeah,
important, Black.
yeah,
And I know time is spent, so maybe I just touch on it a little bit.
yeah.
I think about these things because maybe I'm not the only one thinking about it,
Mm,
but I think about these things and I want to have an open conversation about it because I was watching CNN the other time yesterday and it hit me. I saw a name, John Ossoff. Then another name came. It was like Trubisky. Then, so my point is that when you look at Caucasians' names,
mm,
you know that they all didn't come from Scotland. The
yeah,
Americans in this country, the white people in this country, they all didn't come from Ireland or the United Kingdom.
yeah,
You have Germans, you have all of that, but you don't see it. They don't treat themselves like you
yeah,
were German whites or you were Portuguese whites. No, they don't do that.
yeah.
You don't see Asians, saying you were Korean Asian or Japanese Asian. When you go
No,
to Chinatown, don't you see it, my brother?
yeah,
Even Indians, and people who are listening to me, if you look at Indians in the corporate world, there are Pakistan Indians, there are
yeah.
Sri Lankans, there are Bangladesh, okay, and they are Indians themselves. Do you know how many different dialects that only India alone, do you know how many different dialects they have? So many dialects. What is our issue? Is it we have different dialects too? We have different culture, but if we find ourselves in the diaspora, how is it that Black people cannot see eye to eye? I understand that there is a whole bunch of reasons, but if we don't start looking at ourselves as brothers and sisters and start dealing with that,
Mm,
bro, our children will suffer the circumstance
yeah.
because Maya has to grow. Even though Maya's father is a Ghanaian,
Mm,
Maya has to go to see an African American as a fellow Black person
that's
and not be
right.
prejudiced and not be a prejudice. Maya has to see somebody from the Caribbean community who is Black as a fellow Black person and see that person just for that. We're humans. We're same people.
Yeah,
So we ought to be looking at this and talking about this. This is how you build a community, community. So because the 9 to 5 and buying of the latest car and building a house and buying a house in the diaspora and building a house in Africa, to
mm,
me, it's not the legacy that we can leave for the children that are going to come. Community is always bigger than personal properties,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Because everything you have is going to exist in a community.
Mm,
And if your community is not healthy, forget about what you have because what you have is not attractive. That is why some people can call Africa names because our community doesn't look beautiful.
yeah.
Even though there are millionaires and great people there, we live
Individually.
in an environment. Yes, we live in an environment that is not so attractive.
Yeah.
So it's better to look at the better picture as a people. And that is some of the reasons why some of the things that pushes me to do what I'm doing
Mm.
with
And
the
I
with the
just wanted to add to what you just said is that I think one of the things that is taken out of us is understanding our blackness
yeah.
because we are so African. Oh, they are so African Americans. They are so this. They are so this. So we don't understand our blackness. If we can
Yeah.
understand our blackness, we'll be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the only reason why the only way we can understand our blackness is engaging in conversations.
Yeah.
Again, Black, going back to what happened between you and I,
Mm,
if I had not approached you to speak with you,
mm,
I had to let everything go. I had to let my ego go.
yeah.
I had to let my pain go. I had to let everything I needed to make that effort and walk to you.
Mm,
If we don't think about making that intentional effort to connect,
mm.
literally make that, it's not going to come to us.
It's no work. Yep.
It's not going to come to us.
Yeah.
So knowing our blackness will come from talking about our blackness,
Yeah.
so that those who don't know can know, those who know can teach, and our children, so that our children's children can also know and understand, so they don't have to read from a book and be miseducated.
Mm. Mm.
Because the books might not give the true story. If we are able to tell them our story about blackness, and our children are proud to be black
Yep.
and to be African descent, you know how that confidence, you know how that is going to boost their ego.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, brother Lincoln. Man, this is another time we have to find another time to rub this. I mean, this particular segment we have to do it again and talk about our blackness and understanding and how we
Okay.
can come together, because I believe your philosophy and what you're doing. I respect that, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I have my own, so we can all come together, and then
Yeah.
let's see how we can preach this to our people, our fans, and our followers, so that they can.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so brother, give us your last word, and hopefully, you know, we'll do this again. I mean, give us your last word. Progressive Mind. This is the CEO of CEO and the founder of Progressive Mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's a community developer. So let's support what he does, please.
Community builder. I like to build things and not to tear things down. And in my quest for doing it, I haven't been perfect. As you know, we make mistakes, but I strive to be a builder. If I stepped on anybody's toes based off my ignorance of a truth or a fact, um, or based because I was misinformed, I would like to take the opportunity to apologize, because we make mistakes. And again, it will be based off, but knowingly, I don't intend. I live in life not to hurt people, but not to bring down or tear down, but to build. And in all my intentions and my actions, I have worked diligently to do this. I think that as a society, we should be more givers than receivers, and it shouldn't be a lip service. We should we should be intentional about it. We should also know that community is bigger than personal achievement. Because if you are big and your community is bad, it diminishes your bigness and your achievement. It tarnishes your brand. So let's strive to build a good environment, because environments always have an effect on how people think and who they become. Let's make an effort as African people, as black people, to project our blackness in the most excellent way.
Mm.
You can't envy. We can't do it, because what somebody has is different from what you have. What you have is a blessing on its own. Perhaps if you had that person's gifts, that person's thing that you were jealous and envying, it might be a curse or a burden to you. It might be a distraction to you, because you don't know how to handle it. God didn't give you the vessel to contain that person's gift. So let that person enjoy their gift, praise them, and as you do, yours will grow as well. Let's be very, very selfless as a community and as a people, and let's strive to help as our society a better place. The Progressive Minds is all about building and creating this awareness and things that people don't usually care to talk about. We talk about it, we care about it. It's every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube. That said, I look black. I really appreciate the opportunity coming on your platform, inviting me to talk about my little story. There's a lot we gonna do together,
Mm.
and I am glad that we were able to speak, and whatever hate that we had for each other, um, whatever distraction that we were going to cause to each other
Yeah.
because of somebody's evil intention or somebody's misinformation,
Mm.
we were able to fix it, and what people meant for evil, we are going to turn it into good, right? So that it will be a blessing unto others. And so I appreciate the fact that you brought me. Kudos to what you've done within a year. You've transformed this, and I always spoke about your talent, and I always told everybody,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
you are gifted. And so keep doing what you're doing. It's only a matter of time. I told you the other time Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the support we're not getting right now. It takes time. Very soon, what you have started is going to blossom. On that note, I say God bless Trend Africa TV. God bless Odo Show, Empress. I know you're watching us. Jemima, my alumni, Jemima, love you, Jemima. Pearl, Johnny Woods, Rasta, Pastor Rasta is watching us.
So
Thank you all for.
the only mistake that I did was that I forgot to read some of the comments, and our time is so fast right now. So if
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
I don't know if I mean it's
I have
there.
time
I
for you.
mean,
Bro. I have time for today is our day. Today is our
uh,
day. Today is
today's
Global
our
Business
day. Exactly,
Alinco.
exactly. Um, but I just love the fact that we were able to iron certain things,
Yeah,
um, I believe that people will understand you more.
yeah,
Um, I mean, you did what you have to do. I mean, and because of and you know what? Now I realize that because of um
I'll bring it.
your professionalism, right,
Okay.
make
Right,
you do what people hate
right.
because it's a chain of command. You
Yeah,
feel like, oh, I'm in this space. This is what I supposed to do. This is what they
right.
told me to do, and I'm
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
you are doing what I mean the
As-
company want you to
yeah,
do,
exactly.
and
Yes,
you did that. But
and I've done that for all
on
my
the other way
companies.
around,
Yeah,
the owner telling the same people that you are telling them do A, he's telling them do B. So
yeah.
now, if the Uno is telling you to do B and the B,
The
I mean, you
GM,
are telling them to do A, of
yeah,
course.
of course. GM is yeah. Forget yeah. Exactly,
Yeah. So,
exactly.
but I'm so happy for you, brother, for what you've done. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't even get to you meeting Secretary of State, Dorothy. What's the name? Dorothy
Dorothy Brown,
Brown,
Dorothy Brown,
the
Congressman
police
Barney
chief
David.
superintendent.
Yeah,
I mean, it goes on and on and on and on
yeah,
and on and
yeah,
on and on and on.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a blessing.
It's the
It's a
mind.
blessing,
It's the
brother.
mind. When you set your mind on good things,
Mm, mm,
and then it will attract that. Set your mind. Okay, it's a magnet. If you really, really think that, I mean, if anybody who was sold some negative or negative ideas thought that I was evil or bad for WGEC, you think that I would have gotten all of these blessings. The people that come to me, I'm not a journalist. Sometimes people call people to come and talk to me, and I even wonder why, Alinco, progressive minds, me from Ghana,
Hello.
eh? They invite me to their fund, they invite you to their functions. It's not
Yeah.
because of Sena or my name, it's because of the energy I am putting out.
The
I
hard work
open
you
my
put in.
heart.
Yeah, you put
Yes,
in a
I
lot of
open
hard
my
work.
heart. The conscience is clear. Like I told you, fear cannot live in conscience. Fear cannot live in a clear conscience.
Yeah.
So you put it out there, you have a good vision, people believe in your vision, they will work with you. So I think in God's favor too. And so I thank God for bringing me this far. Everything has been God's favor, and God gives you favor, but if you don't align yourself, you don't discipline yourself, you may fall out of the favor. So God gives you, but you have to work on yourself too.
That's right. That's Sena Alinco for you, Progressive Mind, the CEO
All
and the founder of Progressive Mind. Thank you so much for coming around. I mean, my doors are always open. We partner. I
right.
mean, now Progressive Mind is every Wednesday, six to eight, and it's
Yeah,
also live on Trend Africa TV. This is
yeah.
what we want to build. We want to build a
The
better.
partners.
And this is some of the things I keep on I keep on saying all the time that we cannot do this alone.
Yeah,
I
got to
mean,
build. Yeah,
we cannot do this alone. Even with this media thing that we are doing, we thank God that social media is out there. We are all doing something,
yeah.
but still we have to have some type of umbrella that we all will be
Right.
under the umbrella. Then we can push it through, because
Exactly.
I mean, you moving forward alone, it will take thousand years.
Yeah.
But if we move together, the 1,000 years
No.
can be like maybe 10 years.
No.
So let's I mean I challenge all the media platforms or the media houses. Let's come together, including my brother WGA, to come together. Let's work. It is all
Right.
about love, man. Let's
Yeah.
iron our differences and move on. Love is the key of success. Thank you,
Oh,
Brother
you.
Lincoln.
Yeah. You're welcome, bro.
All right, bye bye for now.
To advertise with us, donate sponsorships and suggestions, email us at trendafricatv@gmail.com or call us on 773-312-0318 or 773-756-6678. Remember to also follow and like us at Trend Africa TV on Facebook so you can always catch us live. On Instagram as Trend Africa TV 123 or subscribe to our YouTube channel as Trend Africa TV and click on the notification button to watch previous shows. You can also visit our website for your African news, entertainment, fashion and sports updates on www.trendafricaonline.net. Trend Africa TV, redefining Africa.
Hello there. Welcome to Trend Africa, where we give you the best of live streaming across all states in the US. We also do web designing, event planning, MCing, app creating, and promotions. Or if you want to shoot an advert for your business or a show, you can contact us on +1773 312 0318. For more information, you can visit our website at www.trendafricaonline.net and also on our social media platforms at Trend Africa TV. You can download our app Trend Africa Online on the Google Play Store and App Store. Trend Africa, redefining Africa.